Hello, and welcome to the Wholesome Wave Data Portal Training webinar. Again, my name is Ava Agudelo. As I said, I'm a program manager at Wholesome Wave, and I'm also joined by my colleague Stephen Farley, who's a program associate here, and we're going to be taking turns on different parts of this training and helping to answer your questions throughout. So, this webinar is going to provide our Wholesome Wave National Nutrition Incentive Network members with instructions on how to use our data collection portal. And I just want to quickly find out from you all if you have used the data portal before. So I just want to get a sense of who's in the room. So you can select either yes, no, or you're not sure. So we get an idea. It looks like 63% of you have voted. If you could just click the yes or no button so that we know, that would be great. Almost there, very close. All right, this is good. So it looks like about 30% of you have used the data portal and about 60%. So it looks like it's about half and half, and then maybe some of you aren't entirely sure whether you've used the portal or not. So if you have used the portal, some of this is going to be review, and some of it will be a little bit new. And if you haven't used the portal, then all of this will be new, and that is also fine. So hopefully we'll go at a pace that works for everybody, but just so we know that there's different levels of understanding. And then I also want to find out from you one more thing, which is what type of user you are. So if you are managing a single farmers market, multiple farmers markets, or a CSA, because that will impact sort of how you use the portal a little bit. And we want to get a sense of who's in the room. Almost there, 90%. I think we need one more person to vote. Okay, great. So it looks like 75% of you are doing a single farmers market, 13% multiple farmers markets, and 13% CSA. So that's great. Now we understand who we're speaking to. Okay, so just as a heads up, this webinar will be available for your future reference and as a training for other staff and volunteers. So you'll also have access to the slides, which function as a comprehensive training manual. They may seem a little bit wordy. That's why you can refer back to these slides afterwards. It looks like the slides are not showing up especially well. So I'm gonna try and fix that so everybody can see. Hold on a second. Sorry about that, folks. Can folks let me know in the chat window if you're able to see the slides? It might be a connection issue on our end. Okay. Sorry about this, folks. All right, there we go. Looks like we're back up. Apologies for that. So just to give you a little bit of an overview of where we're currently at. So incentive program data collection has been really important for all of the programs that we've worked with to be able to use on the ground to support fundraising and program improvements. And we also use that information nationally for policy advocacy. So our partners over the years have generated over $10.8 million in federal benefit and incentive sales, which is huge, and that's over 380 markets. And you can see the impact on consumers and farmers participating just in 2014. So we really want to thank everybody that's on this webinar and all of our partners for continuing to engage in this work and to collect data, which is so important in making sure that we can continue to advocate for these programs. A note on terminology, we're sort of switching over over from referring to our partners as partners. So you might notice in the webinar itself, in the portal, and in our own language, we're going to go back and forth a little bit between members and partners, but we're transitioning to speaking about people that we work with as members of this new National Nutrition Incentive Network. And that's what we're moving towards. So please bear with us as we start to move towards that language. And now I'm going to turn it over to Stephen to talk a little bit about what we're going to discuss in the rest of the webinar.
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys very much for joining us. I'm just going to orient you a little bit to the kind of topics for conversation today. And Ava may have mentioned this already, but if not, this slide presentation will be serving as a training manual. So the slides that you'll be viewing, you'll have access to in addition to the recording of this webinar. So this table of contents will be useful for your reference, both as training materials for volunteers or other staff, and also for your reference later on. And so though you will not be able to refer back to this table of contents as we go on, it should be helpful as we go. The key sections to this program, presentation this afternoon will be how to get started. So in essence, the data that we'll be reporting and how to access and update your organization's profile. We'll be talking about defining the data to be collected, so how to create and edit the data entry forms you'll be using to submit new market or CSA data. We'll also talk about adding markets or sites, so how to update your site list if you have multiple farmers markets or CSA pickup days that you help manage. And we'll also talk about adding or editing new site records. We will also talk about different types of users, so different roles, adding users, etc. And then we'll talk about entering data, generating reports, and finally, a preview of the manual entry forms, which you will use to record this information while you're on site.
Thanks so much, Stephen. So in terms of getting started, as Stephen said, we'll be discussing what data National Nutrition Incentive Network members need to report, how to access the portal, updating your organization's profile, amongst a few other things. So it's important to keep your organizational and market site profiles up to date. We receive inquiries very often looking for programs in certain areas, and we love to be able to refer interested customers and supporters to you. It's also vital for data checking that all of your markets are listed correctly, so we know if things are missing, correct dates to check. That keeping your profiles up to date is really, really key for our program administration, also making sure that all of the data is getting checked as it needs to be. A change for 2015, for those of you who have used the portal before, is that program data needs to be logged for each unique market pickup day rather than aggregated across multiple days. So you used to be able to enter 4 to 5 market days for a particular month all at once and aggregate everything. You can still add multiple days at the same time, but you will need to add them as separate market day entries. We're in a gap year right now where we're moving between different types of data management, and so this is something that's going to allow all of our different databases to speak to each other. So we really appreciate your patience and flexibility around that. This is a list of reporting requirements for farmers markets. So we're asking you to track the following data points. This is not especially different from what happened last year. Things might be phrased a little bit differently. Again, in terms of being able to speak to different databases, that was necessary. And I'm not going to go into too much depth on this, again, because this is designed to be a manual, so you'll be able to just refer to this so you know what's required in the future. We have manual entry forms that we'll go over at the very end of this presentation that include all of these different data points. So we have mechanisms that are designed for you to be able to track all this information. That's all we've got on that. Stephen's going to talk a little bit about reporting requirements for CSAs.
Thanks, Ava. We recognize that CSAs and mobile markets as well are structured in their incentive programs slightly differently than farmers markets, and the language is slightly different. So the data points that you'll be tracking as a CSA incentive program are extremely similar to those of farmers market programs, but we've created a data collection form that's basically in the language that's most comfortable for you. And so as you read through these data points later, you'll notice that they are in that language and you should have no problem. All right, so next we're going to talk about accessing the data portal. You can access the data portal at www.marketresults.org. If you have any difficulty logging in, you can hit the reset password button or contact one of us at Wholesome Wave to get that sorted out. This is the homepage, which you will see when you log in. In the background, you'll notice some preliminary program data that's aggregated from programs around the country. You'll also notice the toolbar up at the top. And when you first log in for the first time of the year, you might see this prompt to please update your market information, which will go away once that is executed. When Wholesome Wave creates accounts for program partner admins, which is the lead user type, or the administrative user type for any organization, you will be assigned a password. You then have the ability to create your own password. The only requirement is that it is a minimum of 6 characteristics. And when you first sign on for the first time of the year, it's very important that you update your organization's profile. So this screen is unique to the program partner administrator users. If you are a market manager, your screen will look a little bit different. Market managers can only edit markets they are assigned by the administrator. If you happen to be an administrator that is also a market manager, that's totally fine, and you'll have ability to control all of this. The program partner administrators can edit all of the markets under their organization, whereas the market manager can just edit the markets that they are assigned. To access your organization's profile information, select the program partners from the program partner admin drop-down menu. And you can edit existing records by clicking the pencil icon. Once you do this, you can manage your market's status, so whether or not you're opened or closed for the season. You can also include different partnering organizations and primary contact information. Click Update when you're finished editing, and it will save your information and take you back to the partners table. Again, it's important to keep this information updated as we refer back to it throughout the year, and it's a way that we're able to refer others to your program, and just a good way for us to have an understanding of all of the users and their programs.
Great. So now we're going to talk about defining your data. And in this section, we'll be discussing how to create, customize, and assign the online data entry forms that sites enter their program data into. So if you weren't aware, that is customizable. These customizable data entry forms allow you to determine which federal benefits your market will be tracking. So to view your current data entry forms, you can select data entry forms from the program partner admin drop-down menu pictured here. And to edit an existing form, you just click on the pencil icon. And then to create a new form, you click the plus sign next to Add New Record. Once you click Add New Record or the pencil icon, you'll be taken to this view. From here, you can define what data your markets will report based on the program that you're offering. This form gives you the option to track credit and debit card transactions, and also includes up to 5 customizable fields to keep track of whatever numerical data you see fit, like customer counts, temperature during the market, total transactions, etc. It's actually not required. It's just there for your convenience so that you can have all of your data tracking in one place. But we have found that markets really get a lot out of being able to use those customizable forms. So those forms get saved. You can go back and assign those to specific markets, and then the market managers or whoever's doing your data entry will be able to use those unique forms. And then you just click Insert to save your online data entry form.
Now we're going to talk about adding your markets. So we'll cover how to view and update your site list, add a new market or site record, edit, archive, or delete market records, and show how market manager level users will be able to view their market records. To view your market list, select Markets from the Program Partner Admin drop-down menu. To add a new market or site, click Add New Record, or Edit by clicking on the pencil icon to the left of an existing market or site record. Program Partner Admins can edit all market site records, and market managers can edit the records of markets that they have been assigned to by the Program Partner Admins. This is our go-to list for the season, so please keep this updated as we refer back to it regularly. To add a new market, click Add New Record. If your season or program runs year-round, you can select January 1st through December 31st as the time window. Otherwise, define your season start and end dates by the first and last date of the year for each of your sites. Assign a data entry form, which we discussed previously in the Defining Your Data section, to your market or CSA. This allows you to have a unique data entry form for different sites. If your sites are running different programs, or if you'd like to try collecting different data at specific test sites, this gives you the option to do so. Once you are done, just hit Insert to save. To modify an existing market record, click on the pencil icon. From here, you can edit existing information, or you can delete or archive the market record. By deleting a market record, be aware that you delete all data associated with that site. By archiving the market record, you are preserving any existing data, but preventing any new data from being submitted. Up until this point, we've been looking at the data portal from predominantly the program partner administrator's perspective. For a market manager level user to view their assigned market profiles, go to the Market Manager Admin dropdown and select Markets. Market manager level users can also edit their assigned market records in the same way described on the previous slide. To do so, simply click the pencil icon and edit, archive, or delete your market record.
In this section, we're going to talk about user roles. So that is the various roles and functionalities bestowed to the program partner admin users and the market manager level users. And we're going to show you how to add new users and then how to add and edit user records. So, as previously mentioned, the Wholesome Wave data portal has two distinct user types: program partner admins, which have access to the full functionality of the portal, and then market manager level users who have access to the functionality associated only with their assigned markets. So whereas the program partner admin can add new markets, edit partner organizations, add users, add forms, view aggregate reports, the market manager level is only able to enter and edit market data and edit market profiles. So this allows the administrator to set the portal up for their market or markets at the beginning of the year without asking too much of the market managers beyond the basic data collection and entry. Wholesome Wave will create the account information for your main program partner admin for a given network member organization. So you can get in touch with us if you don't have access already. Most of you should at this point. This individual can then view and create an unlimited number of new users by selecting users from the program partner admin drop-down menu. To add a new user record, click Add New Record with the plus sign. Click the pencil icon next to an existing user record to edit. Program partner admins can create another program partner admin with the same level of access and market manager level users. When creating a new user record, you must be sure to select the right role or level of access, as this cannot be changed later. So for an understanding of those roles, you can go back to that table that we showed you on slide 20. Create usernames, something intuitive, between 6 and 10 digits, and password between 6 and 12 digits, which can contain numbers, letters, and special characters, but no spaces. We have a tendency here when we're assigning usernames to just do a first initial and then the last name, but you can create your own protocols around that. And then when creating a new market level user, make sure to assign them to the right markets you want them to be able to enter data for by clicking yes or no for each site. So you can see down at the bottom left where it says markets, those sites will automatically populate based on the market profiles that you've created already. So you click update to save and then contact your new user with the link, their username, and their password. The portal does not do this automatically, so you will have to send that information to your market managers. And you can also delete accounts by hitting delete. So if you do enter the wrong level of permission and you need to start over, you can just delete that user profile. So I just want to take a minute now to pause and see if anybody has questions that they'd like to ask up until this point. I appreciate that everyone enjoys the Star Wars references. That's how we like to keep this sort of thing lively, since the content itself is clearly a little dry. So it looks like everybody's doing okay. And so we'll just keep moving along.
In this section, we'll be covering how often data should be reported, how to enter new site data, modify existing data, and then how to duplicate existing records, which might be useful for some of you. You'll be able to enter your data daily, weekly, or monthly, however you prefer. But one slight differentiation between last year is that you will no longer be able to aggregate multiple market or pickup days into the same entry. That is not to say that you cannot enter data on a monthly basis, but for example, if you were a farmer's market with 4 market days over the course of a month, when entering that data towards the end of the month, you would simply need to create 4 separate entries, 1 for each market day. I understand this might be a little bit of an inconvenience, but it significantly improves the utility of your data and makes it far more descriptive. To enter new market data, either user type can go to the Healthy Food Incentive Market Data dropdown and select Enter Market Data. If you have multiple markets, you'll be prompted to pick which one you are entering for. For each market or pickup day, you will be asked to collect and report on the following. This is some of the information that we saw earlier in the presentation. Market date, was the market canceled? The number of vendors, that's all farmers and other vendors that at market or CSA that might be there selling or contributing on that particular day. How many of those producers and vendors were selling fruits and vegetables, and how many of the producers or vendors are eligible to accept SNAP. This next slide is just simply a continuation from the latter, and just continues to go down and highlight these various points. And I just want to point out that the reason that we're highlighting the producer vendor eligibility to accept SNAP is just one of those other reasons that we're hoping this data set can ladder up to some of our other data collection platform. Obviously, incentive programs around the country are incentivizing different federal benefits, and there's the ability to collect and capture all of that information here. On this slide, you'll see total healthy food incentives redeemed at market, and other similar incentive redemption questions.
And Stephen, I want to make sure to let everybody know that we are going to go through the forms that we use to collect this information. So if it seems a little bit confusing in these tables, it'll be easier to maybe vision when you actually can see it and how it's going to be collected. And we hope that the explanations in these tables clarify what these actual indicators are for.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dana. I appreciate that, Ava. So here we're just looking at other ways that we'll be collecting you can be collecting transaction level data. You'll see this is for collecting SNAP or EBT incentives, or FMNP of various types, or WIC incentives. And here you'll be able to capture the transaction number for each federal benefit type, the number of customers that you see for each type of federal benefit being processed, and then the total amount that's being spent and then incentivized. There's also some custom fields. So each entry form that you have access to will have 5 custom fields that you can edit and then assign to various markets. And this will allow you to track your own numerical data points that might be interesting to you or that you might like to capture and aggregate. Some examples of that would include customer accounts, other market currencies that you might use, maybe even the temperature on a particular day. Once you're done entering data for a particular market or pickup day, click Calculate Totals as a way to double check the data you entered and make sure that it's correct before saving. If you make an error and realize it later, we'll show you how to go back and edit existing records. But this is a way to spot check the data portal data with the market and pickup day totals. You can use the notes field here to record any additional information about the day. For example, how weather might have influenced the sales, EBT terminal issues, and then simply hit save when you're done. To modify existing data records from a particular market or pickup day, either user type can select Modify Market Data from the Healthy Food Incentive Market Data drop-down menu. Once you've done so, you can select the correct market from the drop-down menu or leave it blank to view entries from all markets. You can also select start and end dates to specify the period that you would like to see data from, and then hit filter by date to execute. To edit or delete a record, click the pencil icon to the left of that record. You may also click delete to remove a record, click cancel to undo your changes, or click update to save your changes. Duplicating existing records for a new data entry is a function of the data portal that might not apply directly to most users. However, it allows you to make a duplicate of an existing data record for a new data entry. This is a feature that is designed to help CSAs and some low-volume markets that may see the same or similar amount of transactions, federal benefits processed, and incentives distributed or redeemed on a week-to-week or pickup-to-pickup basis. To duplicate a record, click the copy icon to the right of that record. This option will generate a new record auto-filled with the same values as your old record. Then add a new market date, make any edits you'd like, and hit save to create your new record. It appears as though we have a question, and that is there a time limit on when a record can be edited once entered? And that's a great question. And no, you'll unless you archive the data or delete that particular record, at which point there is no going back to edit. You will always be able to go back and amend a record if you notice that there was an error upon original entry. Thank you.
Great. So in this section, we're going to talk about the ways in which the efforts you put into your data collection pay off, generating usable reports. So exciting. For market managers, you'll be able to view data from your assigned markets, and then program partner admins will be able to create individual site and aggregated site reports for any window of time that you'd like. We'll also review missing market data reports so you can keep track of what needs to be logged if you happen to miss a day. So market managers use the Modify Market Data page for reporting. For market managers to generate their own market level reports, you can go to the Modify Market Data page where you are able to see all of the data already submitted for your assigned markets. Sort by date range if you prefer and hit filter by date. You can also sort your records by clicking on the column headings. And once you are viewing the data you want to be able to report, hit the Export to Excel button and you'll get a downloadable spreadsheet. For program partner admins to create individual and aggregate reports, go to the Reports drop-down menu, select either Individual Market Day or Aggregate Market Reports, and you will see a drop-down menu to allow you to select between markets whose data you wish to view. You can filter either report type by dates and then can use the Export to Excel feature to download a spreadsheet version of your data, allowing you to monitor your program's finances, track progress, highlight data to funders, etc. Program partner admins have the ability to generate missing market data reports that will alert you to any gaps in data entry. So this is a good way to find out whether market managers have been inputting all of the data that they need to. So to do this, you begin by selecting the market and time period you'd like to report on using the Missing Market Data button in the Reports drop-down menu. Click Filter by Date to apply the date range you would like to view. The data portal uses the program's start and end dates and days per week from your market profiles in order to understand when data that should have been entered to the portal is missing. The report will show you the week that your data is missing from a particular site, and it will also show you how many days of data have been recorded for a given week. This is maybe a good thing for people to do on a regular basis, so at least once a month, if not more than that, just to make sure. But once a month is a good time period, and we also at Wholesome Wave will do data checking to see if entries are complete. But this is very important, and we do try to make sure that everyone's staying on top of it, because if it builds up over time, then it becomes a little bit more of a detective operation than it needs to be. So just try to stay on top of it, and this is a good way to do that and a helpful tool. Great. Oh, we have 2 questions. Stephen, do you want to say them out loud?
Absolutely. So the first question is, are non-food, such as community service vendors, counted as vendors, i.e. People that are conducting SNAP outreach, solar energy vendors, health center workers at market?
I think we don't typically count those. Those are not folks that are actually selling a product, like a grocery product at the market. So they're sort of community partners more than they would be considered vendors.
I think, and that's great. You can also capture that information in the notes section of a particular record. So if you want to be able to highlight and record and later go back and see who all was active at your market beyond food vendors, that would be a great place to do that. The next question that we have is, wouldn't days with data always be one day now that in 2015 each market day needs its own entry? Generally, the answer to that is yes, and that's a very good point. One exception to this is that, so for example, CSAs or mobile markets that might have multiple pickup days. For example, some CSAs that we work with have up to 7 to 10 pickup days a week, and mobile markets could have up to 20 stops on a particular day. And while we encourage those CSAs and mobile markets to have each individual pickup and each individual stop to be its own to be its own day, or to kind of count individually, we do understand that at a certain point that could be unreasonable, and so if they want to aggregate different stops or different pickups within one particular week, that's okay. But yes, the answer to your question is days with data should be one day now.
Peggy, I see that you're saying that solar companies also sell product, and that is a really good point. I think that it's the differentiation should be whether they're selling or not, but as you know, there's a lot of variation at markets, and so sometimes I think you just have to make a judgment call about whether you would consider them a vendor, and whether or not they're paying vendor fees to the market is another way to make that differentiation. So a community partner wouldn't be doing that, and if it's something that's not happening on a regular basis, that's also a difference as well.
All right, thanks for those questions, everyone. At this point, I'd like to go ahead and just briefly walk you through the manual entry forms. I'll first cover the farmers market manual entry forms, and then highlight the CSA manual entry forms. So this is the first page, which is mainly instructions on how to use the form, which will hopefully be useful if you have volunteers at the market that are maybe their first or second time doing this. The only required information on this page would be the market name and market date. And if you look at the top right corner, you'll see required data points with a star and a black background. So that's a way to understand required data. These data collection forms have utility beyond required data, so they're meant to be useful tools for your markets. Just want to point out that if you have your own manual entry forms that you use to collect data at market that you would like to use, you are able to do so. We just ask that you send it to us, so not so that we can just make sure that it covers all of the required data points. But if you have something that works well for you, you're more than welcome to use that. This is just meant to make it easy.
And just really quickly, Carson, I see that you wanted to piggyback on your previous question, so maybe before we move on, we can address that. If markets have already been entering aggregate data for the month this year, should I have them change? So the changes for this year that we made to the portal went live last night. So as of today, they will no longer actually be able to enter aggregate data. So they will change, but you don't need to go back and change anything from before when those changes went live. But you might want to mention to your market managers or have them view the webinar or look at the slides just so that they get a sense. But I think it's fairly straightforward. You should be able to just share that information with them.
All right, so this is the farmers market transaction log, and you can see the one of the questions to the far left is, are you a new customer participating in this program? So have you ever shopped at this market before? You can also enter the payment type that the customer used, the amount that the customer paid on a particular transaction, the incentive type, and then the incentive amount, and then there is room to total at the bottom. I also understand that a lot of you see more than 15 different transactions on the course of a different market day. So by all means, you can print out multiple copies of this form for one market day. This is just, you know, didn't want to create multiple copies of this and keep it in the form and make it redundant for some people. And finally, we have, for the farmers market form, we have the post-market day redemption information. This is a place where you're able to track the total incentives that you redeemed over the course of a particular market day. You'll notice that we have vendor names on the side as a way for you to kind of facilitate your program accounting and maybe even your reimbursements, and so that you can see incentives redeemed by vendor. Just want you to know that we're not asking for you to report that vendor-specific information to us, just the totals at the end of a particular day. Again, just there for additional utility if you guys would care to use. And then at the bottom, you'll see the post-market day vendor information. This is how many total producers, vendors were selling at the market today, how many of those were selling fruits or vegetables, and how many were eligible to accept SNAP or EBT. And here you have the CSA manual entry forms. Similar first page, just enter the CSA name and the date of the pickup. And here you have the transaction log. CSA incentive programs function a little bit differently in that they typically do not have alternative currency that is like tokens or script used like farmers markets do. So the transaction log looks a little bit different but captures the same information. You'll ask whether or not they're a new customer if they have never participated in the CSA before. You'll record their payment amount by payment type, their total amount paid towards a share on that particular day, and then the amount of incentive that they're receiving as a part of that transaction. At the bottom, you'll also see the same pickup day questions that are the same post-farmers market questions.
Great, thanks, Stephen. And we do have a question, is new customer new to the market or new to EBT at the market?
That's a really great question, and it's someone that is new to the incentive program that you're operating. So you can ask you can ask whether or not they're new to the market or whether they have purchased with a particular federal nutrition benefit at the market before. Um, but yeah, that's a really great question.
Great. So that brings us to the end of the presentation. We got through that pretty quickly. I just want to leave a minute for folks to ask questions if they have them. So we'll just stay on for a bit and people can enter their questions into the question box. I want to thank everybody so much for attending and let you know again that the recording and slides will be available. You'll get links to those in the follow-up email tomorrow. And you can contact us with questions at any time. If you are having issues, I recommend going into the portal and poking around a little bit and playing with it and seeing and getting comfortable. And then, as you have questions throughout the season, by all means, get in touch with us and let us know. And again, thank you so much for attending and for being part of the network. And we are very much looking forward to working with everybody this season and hope you all are already having a great season and are getting geared up for an even better few months to come. So like I said, we'll just stay on the line if folks have more questions or feel free to exit out of the webinar. And thank you so much for attending.